Well, we stand just 12 days from the presidential election now, and the Clinton campaign is facing new pressure after yet another document dump by WikiLeaks. The site released a memo, in fact, from 2011, written by a former aide to Bill Clinton, a man named Douglas Band. Now, it appears to show that Band and other chief fundraisers pressed Clinton Foundation donors to, in fact, direct consulting contracts and paid speaking engagements to the former president. CBS News reached out to the Clinton campaign for comment, and they responded with a statement that reads, and I quote, "We are still not confirming the authenticity of individual emails hacked by the Russian government to influence the election by weaponizing WikiLeaks," end quote. Frank Luntz, a CBS News contributor and Republican strategist and pollster, joins us now. Frank, great to see you, as always. I want to start with this latest release from WikiLeaks and the emails that offer something of a new window, perhaps, into the dealings of the Clinton Foundation and really those relationships and how they related to the personal enrichment of Bill and Hillary Clinton. It's an issue for some, and I know you have been banging the drum, let's make issues matter. How much will this matter?
This is the first real demonstration of pay for play. And even in the document itself, it acknowledges conflict of interest, and I would argue that it really acknowledges corruption. And yet the problem is, we've known how they've become rich. People have asked the question, how do you go from completely dead broke in 2000 to being worth over $200 million 15 years later? The answer is pay for play. It's exactly what's in that document. And yet voters still don't know where she stands on the Affordable Care Act. They still don't know what Trump is trying to do in the first 24 hours, in the first 100 days. The actual policies that affect the American people are not being discussed because instead we're talking about character, which absolutely matters. I want to be clear about that. But not at the expense of those things that are going to affect 320 million Americans. This has been the most awful campaign for substance. It has been the most awful campaign for negativity. And it's been the most awful campaign for integrity.
We've seen then one candidate in this campaign almost make a knee-jerk decision to choose privacy at all costs. We've seen the other candidate, other major party candidate, be given what many other candidates in years past might see as political gifts. Instead, they sometimes sit there and get lost in a message as he veers off script.
Like this question, for example, just gets lost in the.
But isn't that the point? I mean, when was that shift supposed to have happened?
It was supposed to have happened months ago. It was supposed to happen during the primaries. It's supposed to happen after the primaries. It's supposed to happen before the convention, during the convention, after the convention. We should know where these candidates, what they're going to do to save Social Security. We should know what they're going to do to help young people in the schools that we have in this country. We should know exactly what they're going to do to solve.
Who bears that responsibility?
The candidates, and it's up to the media to hold them accountable. And instead, the media has focused on the salacious rather than the substance.
Then to take, for instance, the allegations faced by Donald Trump with regard to unwanted sexual advances. Those are allegations made about a major party candidate for president.
And they have a role in this campaign. But the fact is that he introduced a really substantial commitment in the contract with the American voter, and it has not received any coverage. Now, it's his own fault. In the middle of introducing the contract.
Well, he began that speech with 15 minutes of, I'm going to sue all the people who are accusing me of unwanted sexual advances.
What is this, like the worst campaign in American history?
Is
it? It's the least focused, it's the least disciplined. He has no one but himself to blame, but still, that document, and I finally read it yesterday, and I was blown away. I've been involved in politics now for almost 30 years. And other than the contract with America that I was involved in 1994, I've not seen something so substantial, so clearly laid out, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And he gets no credit for it. He gets no coverage for it because it's all about his own stupid comments and about her, as Bernie Sanders would say, gosh darn emails. And it's not going to change. We have 13 days until people have to vote or stay home. And they don't know what they need to know about both candidates.
Are there enough undecided voters still to make to have a tangible impact on this election?
Well, remember, it's not the national polling numbers that matter. It's Florida, within the margin of error. It's Ohio, within the margin of error. It's North Carolina, almost within the margin of error. It's Iowa. Trump's got a lead there. It's enough states that are still in play that you cannot count him out. And by the way, it's 13 days to go. Why would the media spend any time on whether or not the election is over when they should be spending time on what these candidates are saying and what they plan to do?
Spending time on whether this election is over or not. If the media simply asks experts such as yourself what we're to take from poll numbers that have her in some battleground states, they're very competitive, but he's never been ahead in any poll. He's never had a national lead.
CBS has it at 288 electoral votes. That's only 18 more than what she needs. We all agree that she's ahead. What is she going to do with the fact that your health insurance is going to go up 30%? Or the fact that there are a dozen people working behind you now, and probably 3 of them are going to lose their health care.
But there's also a question, what is he going to do?
Exactly.
We don't know exactly.
So why are we talking about the race being over when we should be talking about answers to health care, Social Security, budgets, deficit, debt, taxes, welfare, education, Medicare, all of these?
Well, then what responsibility, and this is something you and I have discussed often, that these 2 candidates in the end are still just a reflection of the electorate.
This is the
what responsibility does the electorate have?
Of people who sit in your chair. And I'm going to keep bringing it back there because I'm going to keep holding you responsible. By the way, CBSN does a better job than just about anyone else. The CBS morning show is better than any other morning show because it does deal in substance. But we only have 13 days left. Let's not waste it.
Okay. And when I thank you for your time, I'm not in any way suggesting that now I'm going to stop wasting the time and get to the issues that matter. Frank, as always, we very much appreciate it.
Thank you.